uh, let me explain 5 minutes. We will revise that whatever we have discussed yesterday, and then we will move to prepare statement and callable statement. Some other concepts is there. Okay. How many ways? What are the steps that we need to create for creating connection with the database using JDBC? How many steps are there?
5 steps.
5 steps, right? What is the first step?
Registering the drive.
Yes, the first step is register. Please, it will be interactive session, guys. Please, at least, okay, cooperate. So the first step is register the driver class, okay, and whichever the database you are going to connect with that respective driver, we need to download, okay, and then we need to load that driver class, okay, through Java class. The next second step is creating the connection object, okay. Once it is driver is loaded, then we can create the connection to the database by using connection object, okay. After that, the statements whichever you want to, okay, the statements whichever you want to execute with the database, we need to create the statements, okay. How can we create means by using statement object, okay. Through connection object, con dot create statement means it will create connection statement object, okay. Whichever the statement create, insert or select or whatever you want the statements, we need to create by using third step, okay, by using create statement object step. After that, once we are created the statements, then we need to execute those statements with the database, right. By using fourth step, we can execute that. There execute queries, there are some methods are there, that is like execute query, execute update and execute. Three methods are there, that I will explain what is the difference between three, okay. And the last step is deep closing of DB resources. Once the resource is opened, then it is responsible of developer to close the resources, okay. Automatically JDBC will not close the resources, okay. Remember that point. Now these are some already explained today. These are some sample formats of different JDBC vendors URL format. The first one is for Oracle, MySQL, Sybase and DB2, okay. There are the sample URLs. Now we have seen yesterday with statement, right. With the statement we have seen how to create the table, how to insert the data, and how to update the data, and how to delete the data, okay. Like let's say JDBC test yesterday we have created of some, one second, yeah, this is of for creating of table, okay, for creating table. Like that we have yesterday we have discussed for creating, updating, deleting, all those things. Now today, yesterday we used of only statement, right. Yesterday we used of only statement. In this everything is hard coded, everything is hard coded values. Whenever you are doing creating query, this is only one time table, okay. If you are inserting of data, okay, then in that case what we are doing, we are hard coded all the values in this statement, okay. The values are not dynamic. I want to insert the data into this table dynamically without my code change, okay. Then in that case we should go for prepared statement. In that case we should go for a prepared statement, okay. Whenever you are using statement, in this case every time database will compile the query and then it will execute that, okay. But in case of prepared statement, the query will compile only once, okay. It doesn't matter how many number of times you are going to call that, it will execute, the compilation will be only once. That means that we can run multiple times, but in this case let's say assume for compilation it is taking of at least some 1 millisecond, right. If you are using of some thousand lines, then in that case it will take some time, right. So if you are going for a prepared statement, then the performance also will be improved instead of statement, okay. Now let's go and see that. Hmm. Yeah. So In case of normal statement, till now we have discussed only the statements that will call it as a normal statements. Okay, whenever you are executing SQL query, every time compilation and execution will be happened at the database level. Okay, whenever you don't know whether the same query is coming or new query, so every time it will compile and then it will execute that. Okay, like create statement will create the statement object, and then this time we are executing select star from employee means. Every time we are executing the statement means it will compile the query and then it will execute that. Okay, but the same thing it will not happen in case of prepared statement. Okay, so when we need to go for prepare statement means sometimes in our application we require to execute same query multiple times with same or different values, different input values, but the query is same. Okay, but the values might be different. Then in that case, okay, the prepare statement is the best approach. Let's say for example of we'll take up some example, either IRCTC or book my show or whatever it is. Okay, so normally people want to go for some journey or if you want to book of some tickets. Okay, then what we will do in Bangalore, whoever was there, then let's say recently Kantara movie, some news came, right? If you want to search, then you will search with the city and with the movie name, right? All people, but that the same query will execute multiple times, right or not? Let's say if you're going for some IRCTC application, you want to search for some trains between two locations, source and destination. Okay, then in that case the query is same but the values are different. In case of previous approach, every time it will compile and it will execute, right? But if you're going for the prepared statement, the query will compile only once and it will execute multiple times without compilation because already it is compiled. Okay, so only values will change. Then in that case obviously the performance will be improved. Okay, compared to statement and prepare statement, the prepare statement is the best approach for executing dynamic queries or with the positional parameters. Let's that we'll see positional parameters what exactly it is. Okay, so query is same, but the source and destination places may be different. This query is required to execute lakhs of time per day, right? Normally, the people IRCT's application. Okay, in the above requirement, if you are using statement, the query will be required to compile and execute every time, which creates performance problems. So to overcome that, we should go for a prepared statement. Okay, now before going to practical, if not understood, please let me know, guys. Okay. The main advantage of prepare statement is query will be compiled only once, even though we are executing multiple times, so that the overall performance of the application will be improved by using prepared statement. How can I get the prepared statement object? The statement object we are getting by using con dot create statement. It is giving a statement object, right? Through that we are executing of our queries. How to get the prepared statement object means there is a separate method that is called prepared statement method. Okay, the name itself is a prepared statement with brackets. In it is there in a connection interface. Okay, and it will take that query as a input. This is of con dot prepared statement of query. Okay, as part of this query we can give positional parameters, dynamic values. Okay, that we will see, and we can set the data also for that. Is it clear up to now,
Yes, sir.
guys? Clear, right? Now we will see practically the prepared statement example. Okay, now let me go. So yesterday what I did is like I have normally that is not the correct way of writing code. Okay, for example I have given yesterday, but the good way of practice is like we need to write separate class for getting the connection. Okay, we need to write normally for as example purpose yesterday I have explained, but normally for getting the connection we need to write a separate class. Okay, through that class we need to get the connection. Okay, now let's say I have created separate one class. What exactly it is doing? I have configured of all the driver class, URL, username, password. Okay, all my details I have. These are required properties, right? So with this, I've created one static method, and return type is connection. The method is get connection. So what I'm doing first step is loading of the driver, and the second step is getting the connection. Okay, this method I will call from wherever I want. Instead of duplicating the code, single place I have written the code, and whenever I want the connection, then db connection dot get connection means it will return one connection. Okay. Now let's see. Now in case of statement, if I want to get the particular employee number data, okay, in database. Let's see how many data is there in the database. We have some eight rows is there, right? Eight records are available in the database. if i want to if I want to get the data of particular employee, then in that case, in the select query of previously, we are hard coded that value, right? Where is that select query? Normally we will hard code that value in the we will hard code that value here, right, inside the query itself. It's update query. Normally in the select query means we will hard code that value directly. Okay. So instead of that, so that means every time we'll get the same value. But I don't want that. I want to pass my employee ID as dynamically. Okay. Then in that case, the query is like what exactly? Select star from employee where employee number equal to question mark. We will call this question mark as positional parameter. We'll call question mark as positional parameters. How to pass values to this question mark, right? Now the first statement is normally con dot. In this line what I am doing is I am taking the scanner s equal to new scanner. I am taking the input from the user. Okay, the number employee number I am taking. For that employee number, I want to get the data from the database. Okay, for that what is the step first we need to do? We need to get the connection. Okay, inside this connection register driver and getting connection is happened. This will statement will return one connection to us. Okay, that I am storing in the connection object. Through this connection object, we need to call prepared statement. What is that? Prepared statement. Con dot prepared statement of this is the query that I want to execute. Okay, but whatever the values that are question mark, that we need to pass values as dynamically, that is coming from input. Okay, now see, this is the employee number is a integer. Okay, employee number is a integer, so that is the reason on top of a prepared statement object. Okay, this is returning prepared statement object. Prepared statement dot set int. Set integer because it is of integer type. Data is expecting in this query. So first parameter is one, only one question mark means that. For that I am passing employee number. Okay, and then after that prepared statement dot execute query, it will return one result set object. Okay, inside that data will be there. Through that we need to iterate the data by using while loop. Okay, employee number of get first column, second column, third column and fourth column. So whatever that it will return, in the same way only we need to return the data. We need to read the data. The first column is employee number, second column is employee name, third column is designation, fourth column is salary. In the same way only we need to give that index. If we are changing anything by other type, then it will give off error. Okay, be careful while reading the data from result set. Okay, now let's run it. Now in the database we have 8 records, right? Let me run. It is asking of employee number because I'm expecting the scanner, right? I want dynamic value. Let's say some 1234 or some triple one. Okay, let's say for triple one and enter. Let's wait and see. It is returning the data. Employee number is 111 and the name is John Peter and his designation is developer. Salary is 1089. See, is it correct or not? Guys, let's say if I want to run again, I don't want to change my code. I want to go for some other employee. Let's say 1234. Let's try. Employee number is 1234. His name is Ashok. Designation is SSC and salary is 12,000. Given. It is giving. Is it clear, guys? How to get the data by using prepared statement dynamically. Okay. This is for selection, right? Now let's say suppose I want to insert the data to the table dynamically. Before, how we are inserting? Directly we are hard coded the data, right? Normally how we are doing? Let's go and see. Here directly we are hard coded that query with the values, right? Now I want to insert some 5 records. I don't want to modify my code, okay? But I want to insert 5 records into the database. Then in that case, we should go for the prepared statement is the best approach. Okay. Now let's see. Yeah. Any question, guys? Please.
Sir,
Yeah. Please.
sir, sir, how this Eclipse will get connected to that SQL? Sir?
To database, right?
Yes.
Yes. Sir. Now what we are doing is the good question. As part of in this table in this class, what I have mentioned. This is my DB details, right? I'm connecting. These are my DB details. Where it is available? It is available here in somewhere, right? With this details, I want to connect my database, right or not? With this details, I want to connect from my application. Then for that what we need to do? We need to take the all the properties of database. What is the driver class? Which uh, which database you are using, or MySQL or Oracle or Sybase or DB2 or whatever the database. Regarding that, whatever that it is installed, based on that you need to take all the properties. What is the driver class for that specific? For Oracle, this is the specific to the Oracle driver class. Okay, and this is the Oracle URL that I have constructed. Okay, if you are connecting with MySQL or something, then in that case already we have given some examples of URL formats. Yeah. So in this format, we need to modify our data. So as part of this, I have modified. I have taken JDBC colon, Oracle colon, thin, that is fixed one. And host name is where it is installed in my local. So I have given as local host. And the port is 1521. For Oracle, 1521 is the default port. For MySQL, 3303 or something, some port number is default. Okay, and the database name is I have given as ORCL. Based on that, we need to take this URL and then we need to add our values as part of URL. We need to construct our URL. Okay, and then what is the username and password of database? With these details, we can connect. How means? First, I want to load the driver. This is the driver class. Before that, what we need to do? We need to add that whichever the database you are trying to connect, we need to load that. We need to load that driver. We need to load that driver means see this for Oracle. I have loaded this jar file. Without this, it can't again. If I'm removing this one, I can't connect to the Oracle database. Okay. Let's say you are trying to connect MySQL. Then you need to go to the build path and come to libraries and add external jars and we need to load that jar file. Then only it will connect to that particular database. Is it clear, ma?
Yes, sir.
Whichever the database you are trying to connect, first of all we need of that driver class, we need of that driver jar compulsory. So here what I did, I have installed Oracle software in my system, right? I told you that. So as part of that, they're given all the classes to connect to the database as part of one jar file. That jar file is available in Oracle case I'm showing. Go to this one. So JDBC. Okay, then in this case all the libraries related to the JDBC, then this library is compulsory required to connect with database. Okay, the remaining are supported files. Okay, the first one is jar file, required jar file. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Now where we are now, this case before we are using every time it is hard coded values, right? Now my case is I want to insert the data dynamically. I want to insert the data dynamically. Then in that case what I can do, first step is I got a connection, right? First step I got the connection from for database. After that I prepared one statement. This is my query. I want to execute this query, but the values are dynamically. I want to pass these values. I told you we'll call these question marks as positional parameters. We'll call this question mark as positional parameters. Okay, remember that. I want to execute this query multiple times based on my values which I am passing. Okay, let's say this is query con dot prepared statement of SQL. Okay, even directly I can keep this one. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, now con dot prepared statement of query. Okay, inside this I need to pass four positional parameters. Question mark is there, right? For this four we need to pass the values. So what I'm doing, while loop I'm taking. Okay, now while true always it will come inside the loop, and first I'm taking employee number. What is the first column in the database? What is the first column in the database? Employee
Number.
number. And the second column,
Employee
employee
name.
name. Third column, designation, and fourth column is salary. Based on that only we need to pass the values. Okay, that why we need to give in the same order means that I will tell you at the time of oracle explanation. Okay, oracle concepts. Now, what is the first one is employee name, and I'm getting that system.out.println of enter employee number. I'm asking, okay, that I'm reading through scanner dynamic values. So it is of int type, right? So sc dot scanner object, right? Sc dot next int. I'm expecting of integer value. Enter integer value, okay, and after that, what is the next value? I'm storing in some integer variable employee number. The next one is second parameter is employee name, right or not? That is of string type. So for that string the method is next method directly. Okay, next means name, enter the name, read that by using next method. Enter designation, read that by using next method. Next is salary. Salary is not int, so it is of double, right? Now sc dot next to double, it will convert that whatever you are entering into double. Okay, that I am storing in double variable. Now up to that I have entered my details. Okay, now we need to set whatever the values that we are reading from the command line. We need to pass these values to statement object to this question mark values, to this question mark. For first question mark, what is the first one? Employee number, right or not? For that p statement, prepared statement object dot set int, set int of first position. Okay, the first one it will represent it is of position parameter index. Okay, parameter index. I am passing values to the first positional parameter. What is the value? I want to pass employee number. Okay, in place of this. For the second parameter, what is the second parameter? Employee name. Okay, I'm passing second positional parameter. Third positional parameter is designation. Fourth positional parameter is salary. After passing all the values, I want to execute this statement. Execute update. Then this record will insert one record into the database. This statement. Okay. After that, what I am doing? Do you want to insert one more record? Yes or no? I'm asking. Okay. If I'm reading that, if it is no means, then I'm coming out of that loop, while loop. If yes means, then I want to insert one more record. Then in that case, we can insert again employee number, name, designation, salary. Now let's see through practically. Guys, did you understood this code? For this question mark, guys, ask, you can ask me questions. Yeah, please go ahead. Before directly we are passing values, right? Now my values are dynamic, right? That is the reason I am passing here as question mark. For this question mark or for this positional parameters, we need to pass or we need to set the values. First we need to read the data from command line, and then we need to set the data. After that we are going to execute it. Okay, but in case of previously we don't have all this concept. Directly this query will execute, right? Now in this case we are reading the data from command line. Now let's read it. It is asking, first one is employee number, it is asking, let's say 999. Next it is asking name of the employee, okay, and zero, okay, designation, okay, and developer or something, whatever. What is his salary? Okay, some 2000. Record is inserted. Record is inserted, and let's go and see that. Record is inserted, right? Now do you want to, it is asking again, do you want to insert one more record? If yes, if you are entering yes, then it will ask one more employee number. Let's say 888. Name of that is Peter. Name of the designation is SSE. Salary is some thousand. Okay, record will insert. Now after two records inserted, I don't want to insert any record. Then enter two. It will come out of that loop. It will not ask anything. It is completed. Now let's go and refresh the database. Execute this query. Now 888 Peter SSE and 1000. Is it clear, guys? We are passing dynamically values, and then how many number of times you want, you can pass that many number of times the values. Is it clear for this now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So that means that compared to previous, right? Compared to statement, the prepared statement is getting advantage or not? So I didn't touch my code. Okay. Now if I want to run again, then I can insert without touching my code. I don't want to modify my code. If I want to insert one more, some 10 employees, then directly I can give 10 employees here one by one. Right or not? Right? But in case of statement, every time we need to modify of this statement with the new values. That is not correct. Now the prepared statement is clear, guys. This is what that prepared statement. When should we go for prepared statement, guys? When do we need to go for prepared statement? No question, no answer. When we need to choose prepared statement compared to statement. So when we need to go for statement and when we need to go for prepared statement. If we want to pass the values dynamically or if we want to execute our query dynamically, then we should go for prepared statement. Okay. Now next one is, the next part is callable statement. Okay, next part is callable statement. Till now till now we are executed of only simple queries, right? Till now we are executed of only simple queries. The queries we can call by using replace statement or statement. Okay, and one more thing, guys. So the methods present in statement, the method present in statement, this prepared statement interface is extending statement internally, that whatever the methods that are present in statement, all are available to prepare statement. Okay. Now the next part is, the next part is callable statement. The callable statement means if you want to execute any procedure, if you want to execute any procedure in the database which is available, then we can use callable statement to execute that to execute that procedure from Java code. If you want to execute any procedure from the Java code, compulsory we need of callable statement. Compulsory we need of callable statement. Inside that, there is a method called prepare call. There is a method called prepare call. By using that, we can call that method. Okay, we can call that procedure which is available in the database. We'll see practically, guys. Okay, now what we are doing now, as part of this it can take some parameters. Okay, the positional parameter is there, right? We'll call whether you are giving as an input or you are expecting as a output. Okay, so normally if you want to insert, then we need to pass the data, right? And if you want some confirmation whether the record is inserted or not, some boolean value, then that is some output value that is required from query, right? That we will call it as a output parameter. The values that we are passing as we'll call it as a in parameter. The values that is coming from the database we'll call it as a out parameter. Okay, there is one more, in out. Okay, we are passing as a input and getting as a output, then we'll call that as a in out parameter. Then we'll call that as a in out parameter. Okay, now so how to call means after connection. Before we are calling create statement and prepare statement method. Now we need to call prepare call method. Inside this, we are giving up before queries. Now we need to call a procedure, right? So as part of that call, and we need to give the procedure name. And if it is a input parameter there means there we need to pass that input parameter question mark. For that we can pass the values dynamically. Okay, I will see practically, guys. And one more thing, so whenever you are setting, now if it is a input parameter means directly we can set that input parameters. If it is a output parameter, the return type what it is you are expecting from database query, then in that case compulsory we need to register that output parameters. Compulsory we need to register the output parameters by using register out parameter method. Okay, now we see after that execute method is common. Now let's see through practically. Okay, where is that? One second, guys. Let me. Yeah, prepare statement, callable statement. Yeah, I want to insert or some data, read the data from the database. Okay, what I did is what I did is now this is common step. Okay, and to get the data I'm using of this is my procedure. Get all employee is a procedure which I have created in the database. Okay, it is not a table. Okay, after that we have views, indexes, packages, and procedure. Okay, as part of this I have created. Okay, this is the procedure which I have created. Okay, maybe you people may have some fear in this reading of this one. Maybe tomorrow you will get some idea, okay, on these queries, all those things. For time being, these are database procedures, but most of the times you people will not get chance to write off procedures. Okay, that will take care of db people. But for reference I'm created this one for you people. So as part of this procedure, okay, I want to get the data from database, all the data which is there in the employee table. What I am doing is create or replace. Forget about this procedure code. Okay, I want to call off this procedure. Just think like it is a table. Okay, for time being. How to call this procedure means call. We need to give off procedure. call and procedure, and let me wait of this. Yeah, yeah, call procedure name and positional parameter. One parameter, what is this positional parameter? That is the output. I'm not passing any input. I want to get output of all the employees, that I'm storing in register output parameter of multiple records, right? It is not single employee, multiple records, though. That is the reason I'm storing all the employees data in cursor object. Cursor is a database type, database related one, Oracle related thing. Okay, it is a Oracle object. I want to store all the employees data in a cursor object. Okay, from this cursor, I want to read that. Okay, this is a first positional parameter and it is of output parameter. Okay, prepared after executing that. After executing that procedure, I want to read that, right? Prepared statement of get object of first one. It is a first output parameter. I'm reading of first output parameter. It is of type cursor. It is of type is cursor. So, and that cursor I'm converting into the data is there as part of that. I'm converting that into result set object. I'm converting that into result set object. Here I have that employees data. Okay, now after that, by using of for loop, while loop, I am iterating the data. Now let's read it. See, it is reading of all the data one by one. Okay, now is it clear, guys? The statement only will modify is instead of prepared statement, I'm changing of con dot prepare call. Prepare call of call that procedure name with parameters, whether it is input parameter or output parameter. Based on that, we need to set the data, and if it is output parameter means we need to register that output parameters as well on type. Okay. Now let's say, is it clear, guys? Just for calling, how to read the data from procedure. But procedure mostly you people will not read it, you will not write it, forget about that. How to call the procedure, here our main thing is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now the next one is this is of getting the data through procedure. Now my requirement is I want to get the data, I want to get that, I want to insert the data, let's say. So I want to insert the data multiple records through procedure. Okay, I have created one procedure insert emp. Insert, there is one procedure insert emp. As part of this, I have taken what are, how many records, how many columns are there as part of employee table? How many columns as part of our employee table?
4.
4 columns, correct. So the first one is employee number, second one is employee name. I'm taking 4 input parameters, right? For every employee to insert, 4 input parameters is required, and I'm expecting of some output parameter also. I'm expecting of some output parameter, whether the record is inserted or not. Okay, for each record, whether the record is inserted or not, I want to know that. So that I'm taking as a output variable or out variable. I'm expecting some result from that procedure. That is the reason I'm taking it as a out parameter. Now, so only this line will modify conduct prepare call of insert employee. I'm taking of 5. Why? 4 is for data, okay, which we are inserting, and the last one is for output parameter value that we need to register, right? So first one I'm taking employee number, name, designation and salary. This we know. Okay, these values I'm setting into prepared callable statement, to callable statement object. This already we have seen in the prepared statement. Now the fifth one is extra thing is prepared statement of register out parameter. This is of I'm expecting some return whether the record is inserted or not. That I'm expecting. That I'm storing inside varchar. It is of database type. Okay. Now after that I'm executing of that callable statement. And then after that I'm getting up that fifth column. What is the output parameter, right? Prepared statement that get string. What is the type? Varchar. Whether the record is inserted or not, true or false. Now, so that's what I have inserted in database, true or false. Okay, in form of string I am giving that. Now once that is done, then I am inserted printing that value. You want to insert one more record, then if it is yes means it will iterate one more time. Okay, now let's see. Employee number 789. Mm, okay. Now next designation is lead and 20,000. Okay. Now record is inserted successfully and it is returned true, and it is written of database, it is returning true value. If successfully it is inserted, this procedure is returning true value back to our application. Okay, that I am getting through. It is of fifth positional parameter, right? By passing of get string of 5, it is returning that value, and then that I am printing. Do you want to insert one more record? Okay, now I don't want, then it is ended. Okay, now let's go and see what is the 789 employee number, whether it is inserted or not through procedure. 789. See this, guys. 789 Venki lead and 20,000. The record is inserted. Is it clear, guys? This is
Yes,
a
sir.
callable statement. Okay, this is a callable statement. Now what we can do, the next one is I want to know, what is my number of columns is there, and what is the name of the column and type of the column. I want to know from the database. Okay, I don't know what is the type, how many columns are there, returning that query, all those things. Then in that case, then we have a class called result set metadata. Okay, this will give all our query. Let's say we executed some query. Okay, if you want to know that how many number of columns are there. Okay, and how, what is the name of the columns. Okay, all those, what is the type of the column, whether it's a string type or varchar or like that, what is the type of that column. Those details we can get by using result set metadata. By using result set meta. What is the result set? Result set contains some data which is coming from database. Okay, what is metadata? Metadata means it is data about data. It is data about data. Inside result set, once we are executed some query, select query, it is returning some data that I am storing in, some result set object. Okay, result set, it contains of result data which is executed of this query. Okay, inside that what type of data is there, what is the number of columns, what is the type of columns, all those things you want to know that. Then in that case, we should go for result set metadata. In that case, we should go for result set metadata. So how to get that result set metadata object? How to get the result set metadata object? By using, there is a method called get metadata. There is a method called get metadata. By using that, we can get the result set metadata. Now let's see, what is this query written? All the employees, right? Right or not? Now I want to know what is this is contains of result set data, right? So from that, if I am calling get metadata method, then it will give result set metadata object. Through this, what is the count of columns? There is a method called get columns, right? And if you don't know, let's say I don't want to iterate it. Okay, let's say for time being. So I want to know that I have executed query. I don't want of the data. I want to know the number of columns, type of columns, and all those things, name of the columns. Then in that case, just what I'm doing after executing that query. Okay, now we need to call get metadata method to get the result set metadata object. Okay, from that result set metadata object, if you are calling get column count, there is a method called column get. So column count is there, the first one. It will give how many number of columns is there for each record. Okay, number of columns. If you want to know the if you want to know the number of columns, okay, column name, if you want to know the column name, okay, then this is the count it is giving. Now what I want to do, or get column name of first one. Okay, I'm iterating that count. Okay, and what is the first column name and what is the column type, those both I'm printing. There is a method called get column name and get column type name, both it will return that. And now let's see how many columns are there in our database. Four columns, right? Four columns.
Yes, sir.
And what is the columns? Employee number. What is the type of this one? Number. Now go to database and then see. Go to database and see employee table. What is the type, right? See, what is the data type of this column? Number, right? And what is the second one? Employee name. What is the type? Varchar 2. And what is the third column? Designation. What is the type? Varchar 2. What is the fourth one? Salary column. And is of type number. Okay? It is of type number. So to get the data about data, what type of data it is present in the table, number of columns, type of columns, all those things we can get by using result set metadata. Is it clear, guys? This one? Till now we have seen executing of queries. Now my requirement is I want to know the name of the columns, type of the columns. If any mismatch is happened, that time we can verify this one. Okay. If we don't have database access, okay, sometimes we may not have database access. In that case, we can use this query to get the data of that particular table, number of columns, type of columns, name of the columns, everything. By using this, we can get it. Is it clear, guys? Always there may be a not chance of we may have access to database. Sometimes we don't have access, then this is a provision to get the data of table information. Okay, clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Now my requirement is I want to know what is my database, what is the version of current version of my database. Okay, all those things, what is the name of the product that it is installed. Okay, Oracle or MySQL or Sybase or so DB2. If you want to know the database related, not the result based, database data, database metadata. If you want to know that, there is a one more class called one more that database metadata, that is called database metadata. That is what, if you want to, once I got the connection. Okay, I got the connection, but I want to know of what is the my driver class name, what is the driver version and username, and what is the product name, everything. If you want to know that, and what is the product version, whether it's Oracle 11th version or 10th version or 20th version. If you want to know the version also, there are some methods present in database metadata class. Inside this, we have that. Okay, inside this interface, we have methods are there. Okay, through that we can get that information. Okay, now let's see, run it. Let's see what I have installed. We will see that. What is the version? I have installed Oracle, right? The driver for Oracle is Oracle JDBC driver. Okay. What is my version? I have 19.3. I have installed, right? 19.3 I have installed in my system. Okay. This is my version 19.3. Okay. And what is my username? It is of system. What is the product? It is of Oracle product. Okay. What is the product version? This is a product version. Is it clear, guys? This is for getting the database information which we have installed, and what is the driver class version, username, and what is the product version, everything through this database metadata we can get that information. Is it clear, guys, this one?
Yes, sir.
It is same like result set. In the result set metadata, what we are knowing? We are knowing about the data, but here we are knowing about the database details. Okay, which database is installed, what is the version, what is the username that you are using for connecting, all that information we are getting through this database metadata interface. Now these are the methods I have given clearly. You can go to and read it. Okay, but whatever I have explained through verbally, the same thing is here. Okay, now till now we are seeing of only single query we are executing, right? Single. Now my requirement is I want to execute multiple or batch statements. What is batch of statements? I want to execute some 10 queries at a time I want to execute. Okay, that is my requirement. I want to execute of bulk queries in single shot. Okay, single database hit, I want to execute a multiple queries. Then we have a methods called okay, execute batch. Execute batch. So before that we need to add our statements to the batch by using add batch method of statement interface. Okay, now let's go and see that with some example. Prepared some, yeah. Now my requirement is I want to insert of some bulk records. Okay. By using statement we are inserting before only one record, right? Create statement of execute, right? Now I want to execute this 4 insert queries in one shot. Okay. In that case, I created a statement object, and then I'm adding all the queries to batch. I'm adding all queries to batch by using add batch. I want to execute these queries as a batch. Okay, then in that case the method is add batch. This query will be added to the statement batch. Okay, like that all these 4 queries will be added to the batch. Okay, at the end, after inserting all my statements, I will execute of statement dot execute. Before we are using execute query or execute update, right? Now this time we are executing execute batch. Okay, execute batch. This will insert all the 4 records. Okay, in single chat, and then it will return that array. It's a integer array, right? Each time it will execute one, and then internally it is in database call is only one, but internally database it will call multiple insert statement will execute. Okay, now we don't have 1 2 3 4 employees in 1 2 3 4 employees in our records. Okay, now I want to execute single time and then 4 insert statements as a batch. Now let's see. It is inserted 4 elements, and that I have displayed of that integer array. Okay, now let's go and check the database. See, 1 2 3 4, these 4 records is which we are inserted here, those are inserted in one set of 4 insert queries. If you want to execute of some bulk queries, then we can go for a batch. Okay, JDBC batch methods is there, that is for adding of statements add batch, for executing execute batch. These are the 2 methods that I have given. These are 2 methods that is required for executing of batch components. Okay, batch statements. There is no new methods is required. Add batch of query and execute batch. This I have given through the program also. This is what the JDBC, guys. Any queries? Guys, any queries? Please practice it and then you may get doubts. Okay? If you are not practicing, that means that you will not get doubts. When you are practicing, then only you will face a lot of issues. Okay, I'm telling, you will be in trouble if you are not practicing more. I'm telling now, guys. Please practice it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. And Sumant, if you are just try today, okay, how to install that whatever the error that you are facing by using of try to connect by using SQL developer. If you are still not
Okay.
connecting, tomorrow we'll discuss that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, tomorrow I will explain Oracle concept. Okay, only Oracle, the database I will explain tomorrow. Okay, that is anyhow it is required for our future frameworks as well, like for servlets and for Hibernate. Compulsory for Hibernate, compulsory database is required. Hibernate for Spring MVC, and for Spring Boot, for all of them the minimum database knowledge is required. Okay, that I will give tomorrow. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, guys. That's all for today class. Maybe we'll meet again tomorrow. Guys, yeah. Thank you. I will share
Thank you.
the document and then recording session both. Please read it again, and then if you want, listen it again and then try. Thank you.